in this video, I'm going to explain what to do if you have £5,000 sitting in the bank or somewhere thereabouts. Now, every time somebody asks me what I do, and I explain that I run an online business and I have property and I do investing, they all say, oh, that's great, that's cool, but I've got about £5,000 in the bank, what should I do with it? So I thought I'd put this quick video together to explain some of the options that you have if you have a lump sum sitting in the bank. So if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm actually going to show you what I'm going to invest my next £5,000 in. So make sure you stick around for that. So if you've got a little bit of money knocking around, you have a bit of savings in your bank, then you're probably wondering what you can actually do with that money rather than it just sitting there in the bank. Because it is quite common knowledge that if you have cash or money just sitting in a bank account, then that money is becoming less valuable as time goes on. Your buying power with that amount of money is diminishing all of the time due to inflation. So if you have £5,000 in cash and you save that £5,000, in 10 years time, that £5,000 is going to be devalued. You're not going to have the spending power. You won't be able to buy the things in 10 years time what you can buy with it now. So your £5,000 or whatever amount you have is worth less and less each day. Now this is just basic economics and the simple outcome of inflation when the price of everything else goes up and your cash pot stays the same. So basically you're not going to be able to buy the things that you used to be able to buy for the same price. Therefore, it's always advisable to actually invest your money so that it grows in line or even better above inflation. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking at in this video. And if you're new here, I'm Jason and this channel is all about building wealth through property, online business and passive incomes, and also a bit of investing. So if you're not a subscriber, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to state before we begin that I'm not a financial advisor and all the information and advice that I provide in this video is just my personal opinion and you should not take it as professional advice. Okay, now that disclaimer's over. First thing that I'm going to mention, if you have any kind of bad debt such as credit cards, loans or store cards, or you bought things on finance and the interest rate you're paying is above 5%, then you absolutely must pay that off first before investing, because there's no investment that can actually outweigh what you're losing in interest on your borrowings. So if you've got a credit card bill and you're getting charged 20, 30% or something ridiculous like that, it's far, far better to actually clear that debt and not pay the interest, because when you're paying high interest on money borrowed, then basically that is money being thrown away every day. So there's no point you investing £5,000 or £10,000 in stocks and shares to receive 5% income when you've got a debt, a credit card bill or loan where you're paying 15, 20, 30%. Just doesn't make sense. So if you do have any debt, make sure you clear that before you start investing to grow your cash pot. So for those of you that do not have debt and you have a nice little cash pot, you really need to be investing that money so the money is actually working and not sitting there stagnant, because as I mentioned earlier, inflation is just eating away at it. Therefore, we want our money working for us. Now, luckily, there are lots of options when it comes to investing, and I'm going to cover the best ones in this video. The first thing I'm going to mention is the stock market. Now, we've all heard of the stock market, we all know what stocks and shares are, but there are different types of stocks that we can buy that do different things. And the first one that I'm going to mention are growth stocks. Now, this is where you invest your money in a company or a fund that specifically targets growth. So for example, you probably all heard of Tesla and Amazon and Apple and those type of companies that continually get bigger and bigger over time. Now these are what you call growth companies. So you invest your money into these companies and then you'll see the price of your shares increasing over time. However, you don't get paid any dividends or you don't receive a monthly payment from them. But usually with growth stocks, they will increase in value a lot higher and a lot quicker than stocks that actually pay out dividends. So if you want to see your £5,000 growing at a faster rate than inflation, then I'd definitely check out some growth stocks. I have done other videos about these kind of stocks, and You can also invest in funds and trusts where they actually compile a lot of different companies all together so that you are diversifying your risk. Now, these can be an excellent choice if you're unsure of what to actually invest in, because the fund manager will do the hard work for you. So you only have to follow their advice, they do all the hard work, and then you can reap the benefits when all these growth companies increase in value. Fingers crossed they do, and your cash pot will grow over time. Now, another thing that I really like investing in are REITs. Now, this is real estate investment trusts. And again, I've done videos explaining what REITs are and how to invest in them and the type of REITs that I invest in myself. Now, the good thing with REITs is you actually get paid a monthly or quarterly or yearly dividend from the money made on this investment. Now, usually you can expect to earn around 5% on your money. Now, this 5% is actually higher than inflation, so you're safe in the knowledge that your money is actually increasing at a faster rate than inflation is eating away at it. So if you want exposure to real estate, to property, to nursing homes, warehouses, things like that, but you don't have the capital to go out and buy it yourself, then REITs are a great option for you. I personally invest in REITs and I really like the way that they're structured, and also I like the fact that I'm actually getting a return as well as a bit of growth. So if you're the kind of investor that wants to see a monthly return or quarterly return as well as your investment going up in value, then definitely check out REITs. So next up are ETFs. I know I've already touched on them, and again, an ETF actually is a group of companies all put together so that your investment is diversified, which means you are reducing the risk with your money. So if you were to put £5,000 into one company and then something happened to that company and the value of it dipped, then the whole of your £5,000 is going to drop, which ideally is not what we want when we're investing. Therefore, if you invest in an ETF that deals in dozens of different companies in different sectors, then your risk is much more diversified. Therefore, if one or two of the companies' share price should fall, you'll then have dozens of others to outweigh and to back it up so that your overall investment is not affected in a big way. Now, I'm a big fan of ETFs. I do invest in a few of them, and I'll do other videos going into more details on exactly which ones I invest in. But if you're looking for a solid investment that grows over time and also gives you some kind of return, then definitely check out some ETFs that give you that option. Now, next up, and this is especially good for the younger viewers out there, and it's something that I'm going to be doing myself very soon, is investing in the future. So things that I'm talking about, now you've probably heard of it recently, is the metaverse, which is based on virtual reality and all the technology and things like that. And also another thing to invest in the future is green energy. And again, we've seen it all over the news lately, and the world is definitely going green. There's no getting out of that or no denying it. So there is some good opportunities to see some real growth on companies that deal in renewable energy, hydrogen and things like that. So if you're young-ish and you're willing to keep your investments in for a long time, then I definitely look at stocks that are more suitable for the future, because with things like this and the metaverse, which is obviously something brand new to people, because the scope is massive, you have a really good chance of increasing your money 10, 20, 50, 100-fold if you're willing to keep your money invested for the long run. And there's definitely potential for huge growth. As we saw with internet companies 20 years ago, we've seen like likes of Amazon, Apple and Google and eBay, and all of those type of companies have actually grown massively, and a lot of people become very rich by investing in them. So if you can catch the next big investment early, then your £5,000 can easily turn into £50,000, £100,000 and even possibly more. Right, next up, and I couldn't make a video about investing £5,000 without mentioning crypto. Now, we've all heard of crypto, and especially Bitcoin, which we've seen rising at a rapid rate in the last few years. My personal view on crypto is I do hold crypto, I do hold Bitcoin and a few other coins. If I was to offer advice, I would say, yes, go and invest in crypto if you're prepared to lose that £5,000. The crypto market is extremely volatile, and 1 minute it could be doing really well and Elon Musk or somebody can send a tweet out and the value of the crypto can drop rather quickly. So if you are thinking of investing in crypto, I would suggest diversifying your investments between a few different ones and be prepared to lose your money. However, there is a massive opportunity for your money to grow because crypto is still in the very, very early days. It's still new. I definitely think it's the future. However, knowing which coins to invest in and which ones to avoid is a different story. So just be cautious when investing in crypto. So on to my next investment opportunity, and that is property. Now, to be honest, if you've only got £5,000, then I wouldn't recommend investing in property, because to invest in property, you usually need a 25% deposit and there's no houses around for £25,000. So you're going to need a bigger cash pot if you want to invest in property. If you do only have £5,000 and you're adamant you want to get into property, then my advice is to put this £5,000 into something safe and secure, as I've mentioned in this video, such as ETFs or investment trusts, and to continue to invest in these until you've built up a big enough pot to be able to afford to invest in a property. So that's about all I've got to say about property in this video, because this video is about investing £5,000, and to be honest, you can't really invest £5,000 into property. If you do have more and you do want to get into property, then please check out my other videos, as there are lots of them about property investing. So moving on to the next point. Now, if you've got this far and investing in companies and stocks and crypto and things like that is not quite for you, then another thing that you can invest in is a new business. Now, £5,000 is certainly enough money to invest in certain kinds of new business, especially online businesses where you can get a website set up and do some marketing and actually get your business off the ground for a relatively small amount of money. Now, obviously, again, this is risky because the business could fail or something could happen and you could lose all of your money. However, if your business becomes a success, then there is no limit to how much money you can make from an online business. So if you have the drive, the motivation and the willingness to get stuck in, and you have an idea of something that you think will work out well, then definitely go for starting a new business and putting your money into what you believe, because you never know, it might just pay off. So we're coming to the end of this video now, and I just want to reiterate the rule of investing £5,000, and that is to make sure that your investment is actually beating inflation, because you don't want inflation eating away at your money. So if you can achieve a higher interest rate than what inflation is, then your money is going to grow rather than deplete. So don't forget to pay off any debts that charge a higher than 5% interest rate before you start investing your money elsewhere. So at the start of this video, I said I'm going to tell you what my next £5,000 is going to be invested in. So for me, I'm going to be investing in the future. And as I mentioned earlier, that includes things like the metaverse and renewable energy. Now, I'm not going to go into details in this video of exactly which companies I'm going to be investing in, because I'm going to be saving that for the next video. So make sure you check that one out. But from my standpoint, I feel it's a good time to start investing money into things that could flourish in years to come. And when you look at it from this perspective and you take a bit of a gamble and you're willing to keep your money invested for the long run, then these are the opportunities where you can actually earn large sums of money from your investments. So make sure you check out my next video on which stocks and funds I'm investing in to have exposure to the metaverse and renewable energy. And I hope you enjoyed this video and it's give you a little bit more of a clear idea of what you can invest in. And I hope you'll join me for the next video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below and I'll catch you soon.